What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and we had a lot of surprises in that last video, finding out that attack stones were actually better on King, who actually has an attack based off defense buff, but he is a balanced type fighter. And then also the attack stones were actually still better even on Meliodas, even though he's a defensive fighter. But he's a defensive fighter that just gets a basic attack bump. He doesn't get an attack based off defense. And King, his difference between attack and defense was there was a little bit of a difference. The Texans were better, but not by a massive margin. But how are they with Diane? And Diane is very interesting because, one, she is a defensive character, but if you take a look and compare her defensive stats, she has almost 9,000 defense, right, in the Codex, whereas Meliodas has almost 7,000, and King has almost 6,300. So she has a lot higher defenses, and she gets an attack based off of defensive buff. So you would think that with the defensive stone, she would definitely be better. And that's exactly what I would recommend to most people. However, I've been doing some testing here, and I got to tell you, these results were very, very surprising. And I do have an attack stone on Old Girl. So this is going to be an attack stone. Then we're going to slap on a defensive stone and see what the difference is. And I am running the KS set. We've already established that the KS set is better for these characters. They're better for Meliodas, better for King, and I guarantee it's going to be better for Diane. I don't think we really need to test that. So that's the first thing we're going to do in this video. We're going to see what the difference is, so you all know what stones to put on Diane. All right, here we go. Now her second skill, you can't really cancel it right away. Get out of there so we don't take any damage. Whoops. All right, and she's got to land on the ground before she can finish that second skill, before she can cancel out of it. And she has no dot. So we just did 3.193. 3.193 in damage with the attack stone, right? Now let's see what she does with the defensive stone. Okay, so we'll go to manage stones, go to the first one here. And I already have one. We're going to have to unlock this one here. And then I already have a defensive stone paired for her. There it is right there. So now she's got a defensive stone. So now let's see what the damage is now. And it definitely takes time, running through the UI here because of the lag issues. And we're going to do exactly the same. Okay, back away. Alright, we got the awakened skill. The third skill and the first skill you can cancel almost immediately. The second skill, where you have that extra attack buff, doesn't really cancel too quickly. So 3.182. 3.182 on the with the defensive stone. So not a lot of difference. You know what? We're going to go ahead and do that again and see if we get the same kind of damage numbers. So that's actually a little bit different than the testing that I did before I started recording this video. But let's try that again. Let's make double sure that this is right. Okay. Okay, and okay, come on, girl. Okay, so there we got 3.367. 3.367 with the defensive stone. Now let's put the attack one back on her and check that again. Okay, so let's put that attack stone back on her. Okay, so now we have the attack stone. Let's try that again. Okay. I wish you could cancel that second skill a little faster. Okay, so there we did 3.2 million, right? 3.2 million. So we still did less damage than what we did with the defensive stone. So it looks like the defensive stones are the best for Diane. If they're not, it's extremely, extremely close, but it looks like the defensive stones are actually better. Let's try that one more time. And remember, we got 3.367 with the defensive stone. All right. Whoop. There we go. And so, yeah, there you go, guys. I mean, 3.218. 3.218. So she is definitely doing more damage with the defensive stones. So now we know that the defensive characters with the attack buff based off defense, with the KSF for sure, are definitely doing more damage with defensive stones. So that's really good to know, because I know some of you already leveled up a bunch of defensive stones. And if you already put, say, defensive stones on Meliodas, if you ever get those unpairing kits from Guild Raid, then you can actually unpair these stones from Meliodas, and you can actually put those defensive stones on Diane or Elizabeth, because both of them are defensive characters, the free version of Elizabeth. So it's really good to know that the defensive stone is actually doing more damage than the attack stone. So I'm actually quite relieved to see that. It was definitely worth this test to find out. I mean, all these unpairing kits that I have, I've gotten all of those things completely from free for Guild Raid. I've never bought any of those things, never bought a pack with those in them or nothing. So if you've already, again, if you've already paired up your defensive stones, like say with Meliodas, and I think that's going to be the big one, some people already did, then know that if you ever do get this unpairing kits, you can unpair it from Meliodas, and you can put those stones on Diane, or you can put it on the free version of Elizabeth, and your character's going to benefit more from those stones. You know, unless you've, you know, leveled up all of your stones all at once, then you're going to be pretty freaking screwed. But I don't know if many people are going to be in that position, because it's very expensive to level up these stones. You need a lot of hammers to level up these stones. And I did get asked about a card also. And somebody wanted to know if, how good is this card that actually adds defense. Now you see it at about 5,000 CP to a character that's at level 3. She has no capsules. Believe the more CP you have, the more CP you're going to gain from a card like this. But it increased your attack equal to 20% of defense. Now, something to keep in mind about this card is when you put it on your character, you're actually losing 1.9 seconds of cooldown. Each cooldown card you have gives you 1.9 seconds of cooldown. So if you bring a character in a game mode, right, and you're using that card, then you're losing that cooldown. So actually what's probably going to happen is you're probably going to lose damage. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because you're actually waiting for the cooldowns. You're not attacking, so you're waiting here. We'll find out. I mean, the 3 and the 1 you can cancel immediately. Oh, wow. Wow. So you will do more damage. Look at that. 3.464. And that's with the attack stone, which is pretty amazing. So if you slap a defensive stone on old girl, and you try that, because now that we add defensive stone, we just added 10% defense, right? And that's really going to help that card even do more damage, right? So let's check this out. Let's see. Me, watch out. And I'll show you all a little trick here in a little bit to squeeze out a little bit more damage when you're spamming. Look at that. 3.695. So yeah, man, you put that card even without a striker, and that's going to be the trick. Even without a striker that decreases skill cooldown, you're going to do more damage. Hell yeah. That's a pretty big difference. And really in game modes where you don't need to have that cooldown, in all honesty, the game mode where you need the cooldown the most is the Immortal Dungeons. In Spider Robot, in Guild Raid, really even in RHD, you don't need that. And if you give old girl a striker with a decreased skill cooldown by 1 second, right? Now with Bond decreasing our skill cooldown by 1 second, we should be able to spam our skills a little bit faster and in turn do a little bit more damage. However, with a character like Diane, her second skill doesn't cancel so quickly, so it might not make a big difference on her. And that decreased skill cooldown is always in effect. We'll just bring in Bond just for the hell of it. Well, actually, we just added 10% attack by doing that. And there we go. And so 3.98. So definitely the most damage so far, but I did bring in Bond and we did get an extra 10% attack. Let's do that again and not bring him in there, so we don't get that 10% attack from his striker bonus. The link effect of the decreasing skill cooldown by 1 second is always there. Okay. And boom. And, you know, for a character like, say, you can cancel their skills super fast, like Meliodas, and having a striker that can decrease skill cooldown by 1 second, I think it's going to make a pretty insane difference, in all honesty, as far as how much damage you're going to do. Yeah, look at that. Almost 3.9 million, and I didn't even bring in Bond as a striker, so yeah. So that card is definitely a benefit for defensive characters and maybe even for King. But this video has been long enough. I really don't want to be doing any more testing. So the conclusion for the imprint stones for all the 7 Deadly Sins characters is that the defensive characters, well, the defensive characters that have a defense based off attack, like Elizabeth here, Diane, you're going to put defensive stones on. All the other characters, like the free version of Merlin, the Dancing Elizabeth, the free Merlin, Bond, King, and the defensive version of Meliodas are all going to have attack stones. So from left to right, defense stones, attack stone, whoops, attack stones, defensive stones, attack stones, attack stones, attack stones, attack stones. So hopefully this will clarify any misinformation out there about what stones put on what characters. You definitely want to put the defensive stones on defensive characters that have those defense based off of attack. But a character like Meliodas that just has a basic attack buff and doesn't have an attack based off defense, you want to give him attack stones, which we've already established from the last video. And I stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 times, Sunday through Thursday. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.